as we come through, we have kind of getting towards the concert theme with some posters and CDs, and there'll be more as we go down the corridor. But our first stop is the crew room. This is our currently in practice room facilities. So we've got a nice digital piano here, and we had to very carefully measure the correct distance so that we had the seating the right distance away from this shelf, which Tristar put together for us, especially as a piano stand. So this is just about the right distance, not quite the right height though, so we tend to fold down the back of the sofa here, and then it is just about perfect. So it's really handy. Very amply heated with this quite huge radiator under here, so we're never going to be cold, that's for sure. We've also got underfloor heating in this room, so it's very cozy. And under here we've got access to the water pump should we ever need it, TV of course, and plenty of storage underneath here. Over here, full-length wardrobe for concert wear and things like that. And when we do need to use this as sleeping quarters, the top bunk here folds down. And we've got this beautiful, it's fir wood, sort of layer of fir wood that they've tried to have put on here to make it really into a nice feature. And that was something especially requested by Masa, just to try and make this a little bit more interesting. Otherwise it just would have been plain wood. And of course, you know, why have plain wood? So this folds down to make a very handy top bunk, like so. And then the back rest of the sofa here becomes the mattress on top here. So it really works out very tidily. And I think the top bunk is ever so slightly shorter, so it'll probably be me up here. And Masa on the bottom with his slightly longer legs. And there we have it. So this is, as we said, this is currently in work facility. So we've got another handy desk here as well. So one person can practice and the other person can work here. And here, just for peace of mind, we do have a safe for valuables. This is really for when we're running musical holidays, because we will have guests on board in the main bedroom. They've got one as well. And it's not that we don't trust people particularly, but you know, we're all kind of here together. So, you know, we have somewhere to put our things and they have somewhere to put theirs.
Right, so then now we're going to move on to one of the two bathrooms that we have on board, the ensuite. But this is a really clever design. I thought about it basically during the holiday cruises. We want this to be the crew room with direct access to the bathroom, but we don't really want the guests entering the bathroom from the passageway. But when we're in the concert cruise mode, we don't want the guests going into the crew room, but we do want access from the passageway. So there are various doors that will be locked. That's roughly what I had in mind. So I just put a few lines here and there and gave it to Michelle and said, well, this is the rough idea. What can you do? And I really thought she might say, well, that's not possible. But this is just fantastic the way it's worked out. So here we have the first door. We close this door, and this is the cozy crew area. By the way, this is my favorite room of the whole vessel. It's just like an Orient Express train. I mean, in fact, the decor and everything, and indeed the panels, it's all very nice. What a lovely area. And when you sit there, and I'm probably going to be driving most of the time, but if I imagine just sitting here and then see the scenery go past the porthole, it's a lovely thought. So then here we are. This is the door to the bathroom. So here we go in this way, and then we come out that way. So that's the first bit. Then, of course, during the concert mode, we would lock that door. And there is also a door into the toilet from the passageway. So here we have the sign clearly showing that this is the bathroom. We're quite chuffed about that. And then, so here we are. This is the bathroom.
Masa sourced this toilet door sign, which he is very chuffed with. It does kind of make the boat feel a bit more like we're ready to run concert cruises. Here is our gold, of course, gold tap and marble basin. This is a very similar arrangement to what we have in the other toilet, which you'll see in a minute, which is actually on the other side of this wall, which was definitely one of the benefits of having a wide beam, is that we could fit both toilets side by side in the corridor or in the width of the boat. The radiator here, which is actually the same colour as the window frames on the outside of the boat. We have in this one a vacuum toilet, a macerator in the other toilet, and a gold shower. This will be in use for the holidays, of course.
Right, so we carry on the tour. Now this passageway we go through, it's surprisingly long, and here we have a few photos of our past narrowboat adventures and a little bit of our musical activities as well. It's quite a long walk, this, I find. And here we also have the partitioning door. Another thing we were asked, because if we are running the holiday cruises, this will be the partition between the guests and the crew. And again, we said we really do need a very thin door, but obviously it needs to be robust. And somehow Tristar managed to source exactly the right spec for this. And finally, we get to the main bedroom.
Welcome to the main bedroom. This is our Elmich room and where guests will be staying for musical holidays. This is a king-size double bed which can be separated into 2 single beds as a twin configuration, and the side table at the side there will go in between and create a little passageway in between the 2 beds. We are looking to fill up these walls so they won't look quite so bare, hopefully maybe next time you see it, but that is still a little work in progress at the moment. We've got, again, ample storage in this room as well. We've got some coat hooks behind the door. We've got a full-length wardrobe here, some shelves in this one, a desk, a little sort of dressing table here with a drawer and the stool underneath. Storage underneath the bed, storage over the bed with the overhead cupboards there. And we do actually have long-term storage for our use underneath the bed on that side, which is really handy if we want to store things that we don't need access to very often. But that's because you have to lift the mattress up to get to it. So again, not something that you would really want to have to get to every day.
So this is quite a clever set of shelves. Most of it is going to be for the guests, but here the top shelf is the sort of like the hub of the boat communication. We actually have 2 sets of routers with 2 different mobile data streams coming in. When we do broadcast our online concerts, we want to try and maximize the reception. So we have 2 separate routers running different wirelesses. We even have a telephone connected, not just to talk from the bow to over here, but it's very useful because if we were to use one of the SIM cards with a voice, we can actually still use it with the SIM card in the router. And we have the safe here, of course, and the tea making facility, which will all be presented when we have guests on board.
Another interesting feature that we have on the boat is this stable door. This was another of Masa's ideas that he presented to Michelle, and Tristar have done it beautifully, because one thing that we would like to do when we can, of course, is cruise into central London and offer an opportunity for people to come on for a short performance, maybe even just half an hour, where they can come on board, get a drink, listen to some music, and then carry on with their day. So as they come towards the saloon, we want to be able to serve drinks from this room here. So they can come in, buy their drink from whoever is standing behind this door, whether it's me or Masa. And we have a little shelf that sits on top of this door here, where we can have the money or just put drinks on, and have it as a little kind of shop door, which is nice.
Here's the idea. So the hot drinks are going to be served from the galley. Cold drinks, we have a small fridge which we will locate here. So for any cold drinks will be served as guests will go through into the concert saloon.
Moving now to our second ensuite toilet. This one, of course, will be in use for the guests for musical holidays, or this is going to be our green room for Masa when we do the concert cruises. So it will be his room when he's waiting to perform. So through here, we've got, in both toilets, we've got an extractor fan that is switched with the light, very handy. This one, as I mentioned, has a macerator toilet, and again, all the rooms are very well heated with large radiators, which is always nice. Another marble basin here, again under sink storage, and what else can I say about this? A second gold shower, of course, but it is very similar in design to the other one, and it's been very cleverly fitted in so that they're both side by side. This one is slightly larger than the crew ensuite as well. So this is very similar in design to the other bathroom that you saw earlier, but this one has a macerator toilet and of course a second gold shower. The two are both the same, they work the same way, but this toilet is just slightly larger than the other one for this one for guest use, which is nice.
And just to jump in here, notice the carefully suspended toothbrush holders, and of course, I mean, this walkthrough, we've been on board since, well, maybe July, August, that sort of thing. So of course it is in a lived-in state, so excuse the odd toothpaste and things like that. But so these are all carefully done, so I can clean the worktop very easily. I do most of it here. In fact, I was cleaning the toilet with this sort of specialist macerator toilet cleaner. You can't just use bleach because it would harm the sealants and things like that. And I was doing that, and then Rhiana comes and say, "Are you cleaning the toilet with toothpaste?" Right? And I'm like, no, this happens to be the smell, mint fresh or whatever, of the toilet cleaner. It shows who does the cleaning on board.
I'll have you know, I do lots and lots of things. I do not just sit and ask, "Oh, is that toothpaste you're cleaning the toilet with there?" Right. Anyway, moving on, we now go to the final crowning glory of the boat, which has to be our concert saloon.
So here we have the arch, and one of the really nice feature, which is more easier to see when you're actually here, of course, is this angled entrance area which spans out into the saloon. Again, that's something that Michelle really came up with, because we were struggling to work out how do we do this arch feature and still have this door. And I really like this this slightly diagonal door entrance into the main bedroom. I remember walking through the top decks of a Cunard cruise ship when I was giving classical concerts on board, and I often noticed that the doors had these angled entrances to the suites, and I'm really pleased that we've got one of our own here on board. But so here we are. This is the saloon of Piano Boat Rachmaninov. Now, at the moment, this again is in liveaboard situation, so we just have limited number of tables and chairs, but again, normally I would do all my work, mostly that becomes my desk, and there of course the piano to practice on. Lots of really nice design features. This is another that really started off by us just saying we want lots of wood, we want lots of traditional feel, concert hall feel, and this is what Michelle really came up with. It's quite scary to think that we had very limited ideas and vision about how we want the boat to look. It's quite incredible what they really come up with. And I know I go on about it. I'm just so amazed at how this space has worked out. And I still sit here and think, yeah, this is a lovely space to be in.
One of the traditional features that Masa talked about is this really beautiful wood panelling that we have. We thought, it's very common to have, tongue and groove for the lower half of the wall, but we just wanted something a little bit different. So we again presented a drawing to Michelle of the kind of thing that we would like, and you can just see it behind the radiator here. But it's got this really nice inlay, which is just beautiful, and it goes all throughout the saloon. And we've got this really nice wood, which is sapele, which has a really beautiful grain on it. And I think that panel down there is my favourite. We might show you that in a minute, but it's got this really, really nice pattern on it, and it's like a feature in itself, really. This radiator is here because at the moment, because we're in the marina, we are on electric hookup. So instead of running the diesel boiler all day to try and keep a stable climate in the saloon, we tend to have this little heater on, just to try and keep the temperature at about 20 degrees all day long. And the diesel heat boiler does go on at set periods throughout the day and night. But we know that it doesn't like to go off and on regularly, so it likes to run for a period of time and then go off. But of course, as it goes off, the temperature starts to drop. Not very much, but enough for the piano to go, oh, I don't like that very much. So hence the radiator, just to try and keep it really stable. We've also got a humidifier here and a dehumidifier. So all of these things contribute to keeping a really stable climate. No underfloor heating in this room though, of course, because we know pianos don't like that at all. One of the things you might notice is that there's a bit of a design feature running through the saloon. These lights here, we wanted something of a feature for the lights, but these themselves have been through quite a journey, because when they arrived at the workshop at Tristar, they didn't look like this. Basically, Michelle worked her magic on them, but the glass was bright orange. This is how it looked in the photo when we ordered them, I have to say. But the glass was orange, it had white specks on it, and this metal was essentially dark blue. So they were pretty eclectic, but not quite what we were going for. So somehow she managed to make them look really, really amazing. And we've got this inlay pattern around the panel here, which was an initial idea. We wanted to have these sort of feature panels, and it kind of evolved to have really the light itself as the feature with a frame around it. And this is something that you can see throughout the boat. So we have it on the dresser at the back, and we've also got it on these panels underneath the windows here, which is really nice, and it just kind of ties the whole thing together. One of the other things you might have noticed is that we have these very gold, very over-the-top radiators. There's two of them in the saloon, and they were even more gold when they first arrived, but Tristar have put a kind of wash over them to dull down the colour a bit, which I think has worked really nicely. On this side, at the back of the saloon, we have this dresser, which was again a suggestion by Tristar, and actually not something that we wanted originally, because we felt it would make the room feel smaller, because we really wanted as much space as possible for the audience in here. But it's worked out really well, and you can see again the same inlay that we have around the lights, and also on this one here as well. And of course, storage is always useful in a boat. So we've got plenty of storage here as well. We've got some music in here, things like TV remotes, crockery, and then the air handlers are here. And this was really, the whole thing was really designed around having somewhere to house the air handlers and the ducting for the air conditioning, so that the air comes out of these grills at the top here. And of course, it's all done very tastefully, so nothing looks out of place, and plenty of storage as well. So it actually worked out really well. We've got these really nice pillars here which tie in with the archways, which you might have seen as we come into the saloon, and also around the piano we've got an archway which has a similar design with the grooves down the middle. So it looks really nice.
So finally, at the bow, on the port side, we have the stove. Now, of course, we can't really use it, so we've got a nice little fake fire going on. And you might notice we have a really nice piano dolly that we finally sourced, which fitted perfectly, so we can now move the piano around. But at this point, we don't really want to turn on the stove, even if we had the piano at the farthest end of the room, because we don't want temperature spikes. So we're still looking to see how we can implement this with sort of walls and things and shields. But it's a nice feature to have if and when we do want to use it. And of course, this surround, normally hearth and these sort of surrounds of this stove tend to be tiles and things, but Tristar came up with a really nice this gold feature. What else but gold feature, which is very nice. And here, of course, we have the piano just in front of this archway design that we have here, which works out very well. And again, we are sort of in the middle of filming my Beethoven Piano Sonata project. So there's an extra light that I put up there, and there are a few other lights that you might have noticed. That's in place at the moment. But and proudly sits here the piano. And that's pretty much it, really. The curtains will normally be shut. We have to be careful of the sunlight coming in, but obviously it's quite nice to open when we can. Here, of course, we have the famous skylight where the piano was craned in through, of course. And it's all looking nice and tidy now, but back then, with all the drama that we had of having to expand the actual aperture and things like that. It feels like a long time ago now with everything in place, but all the journeys we've had, it's been quite incredible. And I mean, this is the thing, I mean, we're not salespeople from Tristar, and of course they built our boats, but I must say they've just simply been fantastic, incredibly reliable throughout, and we were still in constant touch, and it's a really nice feeling. And that's something that we noticed, of course, even when we went to their workshops. They're always talking about, oh yeah, such and such had something and that worked very well, and someone apparently rang them because they were somewhere in the middle of a river Trent or something, and the engine suddenly died. And then they rang to say, what should we do? And it's like quite a few years back that they built that particular boat, apparently. So it's quite interesting that they have this network of people who are, it's like the Tristar family, and we're really happy to be part of that. But yeah, no, if you've seen the previous videos, you might have seen the little blue piano that they built. This piano did expand a bit from what we originally thought, but that blue piano did fit right the way through. It was only the length that expanded, so we knew it would fit. I look at this and always remember that the drama we had. But so there we are, and here we have the final bit of the boat, the control center. So here at port forward we have the control center, complete with the telephone matching the color of the boat, a router, the other router that brings in, well, this is another router actually, which brings in data from outside. We have a weather station unit which shows the outside temperature as well as in with humidity as well, and we've got a computer, a cooling fan and all sorts. We've got the network plug-in thing to transmit data from here to midship. We have a couple of mixing decks for USB, to connection to USB, and live performances as well, and fans to keep the place cool, and the audio device that runs the 9.1 speakers that we have, and we also have a subwoofer here. This is really the hub of everything to do with entertainment on board. At the back of the arch we have these cleverly installed LED lights which certainly add to the ambience in the evenings. And here at starboard forward we have the customary display of my CD recordings that I have released so far. All of them piano works by Rachmaninov, of course.
And then finally, out of the bow windows, we were very fortunate to have a really beautiful view of the marina. And especially on a day like today, as you can see, it's lovely and sunny. We feel like spring is finally here. And it's really nice, especially for Masa as he practices, to have that view of the waterways. And it's just, you know, we feel really fortunate to have had this space. We were very, very lucky and very grateful to Harefield Marina for giving us this spot in the marina. As you can see, we're right by the canal. So when we do come to running cruises, it means we can just head straight out without too much maneuvering. So it's perfect for us, really fantastic. Well, we hope this has been interesting and informative, and hopefully we've covered everything that you might have wanted to see. But of course, if there's anything that we've missed, then please do let us know.
Yes, I mean, I'm looking around and thinking, well, we haven't shown the bow locker, and there are various bits of the build that we probably missed out, but I think it's long enough for this one, so we may cover other bits, or we may do another one at some point. We'll see, but here it is. This is what it is. In fact, the locker that we are sat on, I'm just thinking, we have the water hoses on the other side, we've got the bow, thruster, battery. I mean, there's so much more. It's such a complicated build. But I think, as I said, it's probably enough for now. But now I'm thinking, another thing, of course, this is the famous handrail that Tristar insisted when they told us about it. We thought, I'm not sure about that. It's going to spoil the view. But now we're inside. The human eye has a certain way of disregarding anything that's not of interest to us, maybe. But I mean, it's really nice. It gives us reassurance. It's a smart part. And of course, it does turn out for the PLA, if we want to run on the tidal Thames, it's essential that we have it now. So again, thanks to Tristar for making sure that all the research is done to follow all the latest legislation. But here we are. This is the Piano Boat Rachmaninov.
Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon.